Good evening, Sandites. Welcome to our regular monthly meeting. It's May 5th, 2025, and I will call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mullins,
Here.
Hanlon,
Here.
Noggle,
Here.
Spoon,
Here.
Wagers.
Here. Join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you all for being here. Opportunity for the public to be heard. We do not have anybody this evening, so moving on to our Spirit Awards.
Very nice. I really appreciate the opportunity to get to do this, and I'm going to ask some help to come up with me tonight on the first ones. And before I call this first group up, I just want to read what a Spirit Award is. What we do at each month, we give out Standout Spirit Awards, and basically it's a monthly event that honors Sand Springs Public School students and patrons who have gone above expectations while representing Sand Springs Public Schools throughout the school year. The awards presented at this board meeting, and nominees for Standout Spirit Award are those who have been recognized for achieving excellence through efforts in representing Sand Springs Public Schools and or for improvement and accomplishments in their drive for self-improvement. And today we've got a number of students that we're going to recognize that are special. And all of our students are special, but these kids kind of stepped up and went above and beyond. I'm going to ask Jay Rodert to come and join us at the front, too. He's the principal at Pratt, and he nominated these kids. And let me read what Jay wrote about these kids. These kids, let me get the kids up here, too, because we want to see the kids. So first off, and if I say your name right, it's Jay's fault because he didn't tell me how to pronounce these names. So Brooke Benke, Cheyenne Simmons, come on and join us, please. Judah Walker, Parker Pierce, Will Reidner, Hudson Odell, Cora Wilson, and Riley Hamby. Rayleigh Hamby. Let me tell you just a little bit more about this. First off, Brooke, Cheyenne, Judah, and Parker finished second place in the fourth grade division, and Will, Hudson, Cora, and Rayleigh they were the judges' room pick. And what this is, they went to the MEE competition that is put on by the Oklahoma Council on Economic Education. The students are given the task of repurposing an item and creating a business model that they must then present to the judges, similar to Shark Tank. This year, the students were given the product of glow sticks for their item, and here's where it gets really cool. These creative and innovative students came up with different ideas to use the glow sticks as different clothing items. Now, one of them is going to have to tell us how they did that and what they did. But first off, I'm going to let Jay talk a little bit more about it and see if wants to add something.
These are great kids, and they're very creative in everything they do. They went and made sure everybody was included and came up with some great ideas. They'll tell you better than I can about what they did. Hudson, you want to talk? Will? What about one of the girls?
All right, there we go.
What do I talk about?
What was your clothing? What did you design?
Did this, yeah.
So we made glow gear, and it was like helmets and knee pads and elbow pads for like riding a bike or like going outside or something. Yeah.
Anybody else? Very nice. I love it when we get to show off what we do in Sand Springs schools. And when I see kids like this is the first time we've had kids in a while, kids of this size. I love it that y'all are here. This is very special. Mr. Elder, thank you for doing this. And guys, I appreciate what y'all have done. Good job. So now we get the cool thing. We get our picture made.
All right. 1, 2, 3. One more, guys. Congratulations.
In addition to kids, we get to give awards to adults that participate. Is Terry Lee with us tonight? I don't see Terry, but I want to ask Guy Griggs to come and join me. Guy Griggs is a superstar in Sand Springs. He takes care of our insurance needs for the school district. And when there is a need, Guy Griggs shows up and Guy Griggs takes care of it. Terry Lee is the principal of Limestone Technology Center, and she nominated Guy. And I'll just read what she wrote. It said, Mr. Griggs with Insurica donated a lot of money to send Limestone fourth graders to Junior Achievement J.A. Biztown. The J.A. Biztown experience is an event that our students look forward to each year, but it can be a financial hardship on our school activity funds. Support and donations from Mr. Griggs and his team are sincerely appreciated. We look forward to attending Biztown tomorrow. In addition, Mr. Griggs recently played golf in a golf tournament. That guy plays golf like every other day, I think. No, I don't. So, in a golf tournament hosted by Bill Zilmer with Chubb Insurance. Throughout the tournament, Mr. Griggs was able to donate his winnings to the Food Bank of Eastern Oklahoma. This is kind of cool. The winnings provided $9,000 to the Food Bank of Eastern Oklahoma and earmarked for Limestone students receiving weekly sacks of food. Limestone Technology Academy is blessed to have contributions from Mr. Guy Griggs. He sets a great example for other community members supporting local schools. Guy, thank you for what you do. We got to get a picture made here too. So.
I need Mr. Ray Fiery. Am I saying that right? Mr. Fiery is also getting a Sandite Spirit Award. And I'm going to read. You were nominated by Carrie Schlehuber. And you have been, if I understand this correctly, helping out with the Sand Springs Public Schools Elementary Choir Festival since your first year in 1985, yes? I believe so. That's 40 years. That's awesome. Okay. The elementary music teachers had this to say about you. Jennifer Butler, Ray Fiery helps us so much to make the choir festival successful. He spends a lot of time setting up all the speakers and microphones and adjusting everything to the right height and sound levels so that we sound our best. He is a huge asset in making the choir festival run smoothly and plays the music so our students can sing and be successful. Rebecca Stewart. Ray comes to the field house on Friday evening before the festival to set up the sound system. This is around 6:30 after working a full day at the Fiery Brothers Music Store. It takes 2 to 3 hours for him to get it all set up. He wants everything to work perfectly. He is back at the Ed Doobie bright and early and stays the whole practice to make sure things run smoothly. He then packs up and is one of the last to leave on Saturday. He has been faithfully serving us for the last 39 years. Thank you very much, sir. Oh, wait, we get your picture? Do we have Pace Setter Awards?
Nope. We don't have Pace Setter Award. We got one more. If I could get Coach Savage and Deke Thompson up here, please. So all I've got on my paper is Deke Thompson, All-State Oklahoma Coaches Association boys basketball. Enough said. But I'm gonna let Coach Savage elaborate on what happened with Deke here.
Yes, So Deke has been in our district and been part of our basketball program the last 2 seasons. And during those 2 seasons, he's accomplished about every goal and award you could hope to as a player. Within the 2 years, he scored over 1,000 points in 2 seasons. This year, in addition to being Oklahoma All-State, he was also Oklahoma Basketball Coaches Association All-State. He was District 2 Player of the Year in our district. He will be a Tulsa World, or is a Tulsa World Player of the Year finalist, which will be announced in June 19th, I believe, at Driller Stadium. And most recently, he's committed to Texas State University to continue his academic and basketball career. So very distinguished honors, and it's been a pleasure to be his coach the past 2 seasons and just to be a part of his journey. An outstanding young man, also with a GPA of 3.7, 3.8, I believe. So high on the academic charts as well, and we're just super proud of him as a staff and just a terrific young man, and I appreciate you having us tonight.
We have a lot. We have a lot. Oh, you do? Oh, okay. I have a big group. Okay. This is the Early Learning Center employees. So Cheyenne Wood, Katie Kramer, Madison Beasley, Michaela Sato, Rachel Moss, Faith Davis, Crystal Barnett, Abigail Smith, and Whitney Crank. Oh. Miss Sarah Finelli nominated you guys. And these are, you guys, I don't think the ELC could run without you. Parents absolutely love you. And these are some parent comments. The thing I like best about the ELC is the quality of staff and always knowing my baby is very well taken care of and loved. We love the ease of communication, all the fun activities, and the class sizes. I would recommend the ELC to other parents because it is a great place to take my child, and I know they have great teachers taking care of my child. They teach my daughter a lot, and she enjoys going. I would recommend the ELC to other parents because my daughter really enjoys her teachers and classmates. She has thrived in the ELC environment. That is what we love to hear, is the children are thriving. So thank you all so very, very much. Is Sarah Finelli here? Oh, Sarah, would you like to say anything more?
Right now we have 33 ending the year, and then we've got 35 enrollment for next year already.
So good. She's shy, but I mean.
I'm not a public talker.
And so, is Jay still in here? We just had a new baby in the district. Where's Jay Roder? No, there he
He's
is.
back here.
Gage Kaiser. I'm just telling you, you need to be videoing it and sending it to Gage. Had a new baby at home, so I'm very proud of these program.
ELC could not run without these ladies. They put in hard work every single day. They wake up ready, positive attitudes, and then after nap time, we send them home and they still have great attitudes. I mean, we're dealing with six-week-old infants up to 4-year-olds getting ready to move on up to pre-K with Miss Douglas, and couldn't ask for a better group of ladies to work with, honestly. Proud of these ladies.
Okay, stay for a picture.
It's my turn. Can I have Mr. Robert Molds up here, please? So, Mr. Molds, are you a bus driver? All right. Well, we were nominated by Miss Haley McGee, and she says that Mr. Molds picks up our son from West 265th and 27th Street every day. He never complains, always has a smile on his face, and has a good attitude. My son tells me daily what a nice driver he is and how he continues to be a good person even when students aren't so nice to him. He truly deserves this award, and I hope other bus drivers look to him in the future for patience and kindness. He truly exceeds his job daily. A lot of our kids, their days start and end with our bus drivers, and we really do appreciate everything that you do for our kids and keeping a positive attitude and in just enjoying the day with them. So congratulations. You want to speak?
So I always tell I don't call them my favorites, but the ones who I would like to have about 50 of, if I could clone them. This guy right here, I'd clone 50 of him and we'd have a perfect staff. His motivation every morning, his attendance is near perfect. I mean, what can I say, about this guy? He brings in little trinkets for the drivers. They'll come in and it's like Christmas about every other month with these guys. And so just the positive mental attitude, everything that you bring to our bus barn, much appreciated, everything you do, sir.
All right, guys, I have a pretty big stack, which is awesome, right? We love giving out awards, so I'm really excited about this. Can I have Courtney Harbaugh, Gage Kaiser, Mike Carter, and Gina Myers up here, please? And Miss Carrie Schlehuber. Are you in the room? So we give the Pace Setter Award to very special staff individuals who go above and beyond what is asked of them. And we like to recognize them when they are awesome, which you are every day. So thank you. But I'm going to read what Ms. Schlehuber wrote. This program, archery, right? Which if you have not heard about the archery program, it is one amazing program. It is the first year, and they are dynamic. And they have gone to regionals, right? Just for junior high, and you've been doing it. Yeah, so how awesome is that? So I'm just going to read this. This program was developed with the goal of building and expanding our district's archery team, and it's been nothing short of inspiring. Watching our Sandite students compete alongside peers from across the state was an incredible experience. Our dedicated teachers consistently go above and beyond the traditional physical education curriculum, creating meaningful opportunities for students to explore new and challenging activities through the sport of archery. Their commitment to innovation and inclusion is helping more students find their place, build confidence, and thrive. We are truly fortunate to have such passionate educators leading the way and opening new doors for our students. That is absolutely amazing. We were just talking about that today, is finding programs for kiddos to get them involved and to make them feel included in what their special gifts and talents are. So this is one of them, and we are so excited to have this program. So, Carrie, would you like to say something?
I mean, that sums it up. It was so fun. Cassidy and I got to go spend the day at the archery tournament that was at Clyde Boyd, and we've just talked about it nonstop since then. And so I just wanted to make sure that they all got credit for doing things outside the box and working hard with kids. So.
right, and we have another set of awesome leaders. Can I have Candace Marshall, Amy Garrison, Jennifer Butler, Rebecca Stewart, and Abigail Tanner? And these guys are also nominated by Mrs. Slayhuber, especially with braces. Good golly, I'm telling you. So these ladies are a big bunch of awesomeness as well. So I'm going to read what Miss Carrie said. This year marked the 39th annual Sand Springs Elementary Choir Festival, and what a spectacular celebration it was. Over 220 talented students from all 5 elementary schools came together to showcase their hard work and love for music in their cherished annual tradition. Behind the scenes, our incredible elementary music teachers dedicated countless hours to preparing students for this event, from selecting the theme and organizing auditions for solos, speaking parts, dances, and instrumental performances, to leading rehearsals that brought every note and movement to life. Their commitment to excellence was evident in every moment of their performance. The passion, enthusiasm, and pride with these educators have their students shined brightly on stage. We are truly fortunate to have such devoted music teachers who inspire a deep appreciation for the arts and nurture creativity from early age. So great job. Yes, yes. We want to give these ladies credit where credit is due.
Listen, I've never shied away from a microphone, if you know me. I just want to say we have somebody very special in the audience with us. Angelin Ulrich, she actually started this festival when 39 years ago. And so I just wanted to acknowledge her as well.
I think you should come up on
Come
stage.
on, Angelin.
Yeah,
And she's
absolutely.
also very special to me because that is who I student taught under at Angus Valley. And now here I am still teaching at Angus Valley because of her. So I just felt like she needed to be recognized as well. So
I love that. Let me just tell you a couple of things. First off, when I went to that event, I started thinking this may be the largest attended event that we do it across all schools. I mean, you've got all of those parents there and all of those kids there. The other thing is, I still remember songs from my days with Miss Karen Campbell at Angus Valley. I will not sing them for you all. But this weekend, my daughter, who would have been with you, was singing Pizza Love. Do you all remember? That would have been like 2011. And she had no idea I was giving this award. And I said, why are you singing that song from your 5th grade choir festival? And she was like, I sing it all the time. And so she's 25 years old, still singing Pizza Love. So it's important what you do.
Okay, I think that wraps up the awards portion of the meeting. We're getting ready to get into the nuts and bolts. If you all would like to go ahead and take off and enjoy the rest of your evening away from here, you are more than welcome to. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great job, guys.
Thank you all for coming. This is the best part. Not when they're leaving, when they were here. The awards.
Now you got the first one under your belt, it's all. Now that you got the first one under your belt, it's all. That's not a good idea. Those 3 together is not a good idea.
Sean, keep them in line. Sean,
You ready to start?
Sure. If you guys are ready, we'll go ahead and get started with the rest of the meeting. And if you're so moved, we'll go ahead and go to item number 7, which is about, actually 6, which is about student empowerment and staff.
Yes.
Before we say that, I'm going to just make a public announcement. It's Beth's birthday, so if you didn't know that, you should know that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Beth. Happy birthday to you. We appreciate you.
Listen, her office was just really decked out. Not thanks to me. I'm just going to say that, but man, she makes it run. So we also have 2 folks in the audience. I think Jay and Angela Noel are still here. So Jay, they know who you are. Angela, they know who you are. But as you know, their positions shift next year to 2 very important places. One is Page Academy and our Transition Academy and virtual that Jay's going to lead next year. And then Angela joins us at Central Admin, doing some compliance jobs and maybe some other, anything we can put on her plate, to be honest about it. So very excited about having those 2 join us at Central Office. So thank you. First, Mr. Beard, he's sitting in the front. He's always that person that handles all things curriculum, which I'm so thankful for. But I'm just going to comment. He's also planning professional development for the fall. And I know that seems like a small thing to try to figure out, but it's so not. And so he spends months doing that. I would comment also that he's becoming a little bit popular around the state. He's been asked to do professional development for other districts. He actually spoke for Dr. Butterfield at one of her college classes. So just finding some other districts that are noticing the kind of work we do in Sand Springs is really fabulous. And he also was nominated and has been selected Region 5 Assistant Superintendent of the Year. So give it up for Sean. He's amazing. Hiring is going well. You're getting ready to see a recommendation.
Can I add one thing to that?
Yes.
Ms. Durkee won't say it, but Ms. Durkee has been selected the Superintendent of the Year for Region 5 for
Yes.
this year. So.
I always slide that by, and usually Sean stops me and has to make that announcement. But yeah, I trained him not to do it. He's not sitting close enough for me to elbow. But anyway, I hear that. The hiring process, you guys, is going really well. You're going to see recommendations of at least 10 people, I think, at tonight's meeting. Once teachers hand in their intent not to come back, it takes about this long for Ms. Arnold to get those posted and our people to start hiring. I've gone on and on with you guys in previous emails about the number of applicants we're getting for our positions, including leadership. So it's not an easy feat. It kind of feels like we're circling back, at least in Sand Springs, to where we used to be, in that we have more applicants than I think we've ever had before. So that is feeling really good here. And that's still going to happen. Of course, we're letting go of Nancy Ogle and Steve Perdue. I always say that's bittersweet, but I also think that new doors open. It's also exciting. But we're going to be having retirement celebrations for those folks, and you'll see some all-staff emails, and we'd love to have you in attendance. Graduation is on us, you guys, in a week and a little bit. Not this weekend, but next. Ryan Biven is on it. I know he's probably not real nervous about it. I'm kind of joking. It's his first rodeo, and so it's a little daunting seeing that many people at ORU in the big stadium, but he's going to do amazing. And I think that concludes student and teacher. Oh, I already introduced Chris to the board. I mean, we can do it publicly, but I promised him I would not make him speak. So Chris Clemens is in our midst, and yeah, publicly we need to talk about that out in public on, the Sandite Learning Channel, but he joins us as our operations director for the district and has already, give him a hand.
Welcome.
Welcome. I kind of sung the whole Dory from, what's the movie? Just Keep Swimming. Yeah. And so I think he's feeling it, like he's just swimming right now. So here we are. So any questions about staff and student empowerment?
Resource innovation.
Yep, we'll move on to item number 7. Again, OASA State Revenue Report. Cassidy said it's getting pretty depressing when we see that come out every month, and it says the exact same thing. I won't belabor it because we're where we're at. So we'll continue to proceed with caution. We're also looking at our ASR. I know Angela's kind of in the big middle of that with Carrie this year, alongside Nancy Ogle Learning, but we're down a little bit in enrollment, and so we just have to proceed with caution. Beam signing, you guys, we attached pictures. That was a hit, made the news, and all of our names were on it. I'll refrain from saying what is forever on the beam that Mr. Noggle signed, but it's there, and I might concur, but I won't say that out loud exactly. And then we met with the OSSBA team last week, actually, Mr. Wine and I did, to discuss a new program. They've become kind of an agency that has expanded their services and opportunities. They've hooked up with Melinda, I can't remember her last name, but she used to work for American Fidelity. But Union, some of you might remember, some of you might not, but Union for years has self-insured health insurance. So we spoke with OSSBA that has a team of people that are helping districts explore the possibility. For me, it's a little bit daunting and scary, but they sent us a big email with a lot of attachments that we're going to dig deep and see if it would behoove us to do it. Just kind of a note, FBA, the flexible benefit allowance that we are reimbursed from the state, is great. It pays the employee insurance premium monthly, mostly. If an employee has some kids or has to carry the spouse, it is exorbitant. And so the idea is you incorporate a program through self-insurance that saves some folks money. So we're exploring. I'm not making any promises as of yet, but it is something worthwhile, I think, to see if we can pull it off. Typically, it's your bigger districts that do those things. Union started back when Kathy Burden was superintendent years ago, before Kurt Hartzler. And so we'll see. More to come on this, but definitely have all the information. So if you're interested in taking a peek, love to have you join us in studying that.
Just a quick question on that. Is it just the individual school district, or is it a consortium of union?
I think the way I understand it, it's just our district. So Union has their own separate, because if you think about taking on risk for other districts, right, it's a little scary because you really don't know. They'll start out with gathering our data from the state, our FBA data, that we have to give them permission to collect. It doesn't have demographic specifics on our employees, but allow us to see, how many we cover, or the state covers, what kind of insurance they carry, how many have family, and give us an idea of what maybe our employees could save. So just know we're exploring it. Again, we're not near ready. We just had a basic hour meeting last week and now have a summer to study what they're giving us. So Mike, you might hear some at the OSSBA.
They haven't presented it to us in a lot of detail yet. I think Dr. Hartzler is the one kind of heading up that particular group. So
right. So keep your ears out, because I'm sure they're going to be covering that with you guys as well. That concludes resource innovation, unless you guys have questions. Okay, we'll move on to communication. The Alumni Association meeting was today, and I got to speak at noon. It was really fun. They are a lovely group of people, and Sheila Sellers is kind of back in the helm for a bit. She's trying to hand it off to someone that wants to take over being the president of that association. She did tell me that they're employing 9 scholarships for seniors at $1,500 a piece. Not quite doubling what they usually give, but honestly, it's just a really great group of individuals that try to support to the best of their ability our kids that graduate. So that was fun. And then our last coffee with cabinet was Monday. Ms. Wagers was our only board member and parent to show up, to be honest. But it's still healthy to keep that open to the public, because I still say giving people an opportunity to come talk to us is always healthy, in the name of transparency. So any questions about district communication? Okay, moving on to item number 9, health and safety related. I have to just bring up Jonathan Noah. I'm going to reserve the right to recommend him for an award. He really needs it. He services as a resource officer through our contract with the Sand Springs Police Department, mostly Clyde Boyd Middle School. I'm sure parents are getting really tired of those text messages that come out and say, by the way, there could be a threat, but it's not viable, and all those. And so it was interesting because I had the opportunity to check out the community group on Facebook, and one of the parents posted and said, anybody keeping their kids home, I can't continue to do this every time. And it's not funny. Like, there's nothing funny about that, but it does speak to the frequency of it. But I'm just going to say, John Noah last weekend, the weekend before last, not this last weekend, but the one before, literally worked all weekend long on this particular case that ended up being a non-event. But stayed in contact with Miss Noel and I don't even know how many times I talked to John that weekend, but I'm certainly sure that it wasn't something he was on contract to do, and chose to just really chase it down until he got to the bottom of it, which is admirable. I mean, he's amazing. I can't say enough about him. So just look for him to have a board award. They all do a great job, but man, he has just gone above and beyond. Middle school's difficult for sure, but that man works his head off to make it safe for our kids.
He forms a lot of relationships.
Oh,
with
100%.
Middle school as well.
Right.
He just saw Jacob this past weekend and connected with him, and they had a bond. So that tells you just the impact he has on the kiddos.
He was at the Truck Touch Saturday, and all the kids getting in his car. He's shaking their hand, and they're pretending to be in the back, behind the little bars, and he's entertaining it. It was just super fun. So you're right. It's not just about, it is about safety, but it's not just about, quote unquote, making sure those kids that might struggle a little bit have what they need, but it's really everybody for him. So hooray for Jonathan.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they could, we could get the legislators to help us with this. It's been a program, it's been a problem ongoing for so long now that evidently it's not, whatever's being done at the family level is not working. So just like if you have to get towed or rescued from driving in high water, you're going to have to pay for that.
Sure.
All the man hours that go into tracking down a viable or non-viable threat should also be.
Agree.
Should be, have to be reimbursed for some of that. When that happens, maybe some parents start taking away some phones, some computers, anything that these kids can get on in order to do that. And
I love you mentioned that, because we are working through 2 grants at the state level to pay for our resource officers. One, when we first onboarded Will Parman, I say onboarded very loosely because we're not actually onboarding them as an employee.
Right.
They're actually employees of the Sand Springs Police Department. However, we're paying a portion of the MOU, the agreement, for part of their salary. And we started that. And that's just straight up repetitive money we get every year. The other 2 are competitive grants. We have 3, and it is a big deal. And in fact, in the next year, when those grants run out, I'm going to be hard-pressed to let that program go. I'd like to install a 4th one, but it is about the investment from the state to make those kinds of things happen. And I agree with you, Mr. Noggle. It is important for those to continue to be funded. So we'll see. We're in an interesting time, and I'm just going to leave it at that in terms of state support. I would mention Mr. Smith is set to attend a National Safety Summit this summer. I know you guys know what a big believer I am in professional development. Safety's no different. He's been amazing at taking what he learns seriously, bringing it back to our team, and making sure we're employing the best practices. He's probably one of the biggest reasons classroom doors are locked, to be honest. We know the research, but having him come back and give examples of why that's important and the research behind it has just been a really healthy addition. So he's doing a great job. But again, he is slated to attend a National Safety Summit this summer. So that is it regarding my report. Any questions?
If not, move on to consent agenda.
Couple of items I want to bring to your attention. One you've seen before, to be honest, the district capacity report. I always mention it just because tis the season for district transfers. They're starting pretty hot and heavy. As you know, our district has relied heavily on transfers. We get a lot of them from not just some of the area schools, but all over the place. And so we have our fair share. So capacity is a law now we have to post. I would also bring your attention to item number 27, and in the audience we have Clint Treese. That's the agreement between Daybreak at Family and Children's Services. We talked about this a little last year. This is a repeat contract, but Clint always comes when we do that. If you'll remember, Family and Children's Services kind of swooped in and is the umbrella over Daybreak, although we still have the Daybreak partnership, and Clint now has a different role. He was at, there's Clint, has been at Garfield historically as one of our counselors, but then also case management, and now has taken a bigger role and really does service and kind of administrate all of Sand Springs. I don't know, Clint, if you would want to add anything to that, but it is a pretty special contract. So thank you for being here with that contract. And then item number 34 is a letter of intent. Jamie Conrad and Claudia, with a lot of help from Claudia, is getting ready to try one more time for the 21st Century Grant for Pratt. So that's happening here pretty quickly. And then one last thing, it's not consent agenda, but I do want to make mention because I got caught Sherry Pierce in the corner of my eye. Just so you all know, we talked about the CEP program for free and reduced lunch, free lunches for everyone and breakfast. We have finalized a meeting today. She met with Mr. Wine and I, and we really cannot continue that program. We talked about it a little bit last month, how we were dipping into our fund balance in Fund 22 pretty heftily. I don't think we can support, but I wanted Sherry to come just in case you had any questions about that. And while that's not on the consent agenda, I forgot to mention it during my report, so this would be a great time if you had questions about that to ask her too.
What was the deficit? I hate to call it that, but how much we talking about?
It was a deficit. We talked today a little bit, and Sherry, I'll let you speak, but one of the components was about $400,000 to answer your question directly, give or take. The cost of food, quite frankly, went up. Reimbursement that you get for kids that are under the actual program. Oh, Carrie, I've done that a million times. Our reimbursements are higher when we're not doing CEP. And then, Sherry, I don't know if, thank you, Carrie.
Okay, sorry. Our expenses went up about 20%. For all of food, groceries, you know that, you see that in the grocery stores. So we had that which we knew they were going to go up, we just did not expect that. I went back and I looked at the percentages, reevaluated them in hopes that our percentages for our district would go up, because the numbers that I have to use are off of directly certified students, and that comes through the WAVE, and it comes from DHS, and that's the only students that we're able to count in those percentages, and that goes along with homeless, foster, Medicaid, free, and then SNAP and TANF and FDPR, and in hopes that our percentage would go up, because that would have really helped us out. It was not going to go up. If anything, it might have gone down a couple points. So I knew, with looking at that and looking at our expenditures, that there was not going to be a possibility of doing it this year. We're really proud that we were able to do it for a year, because I really feel like it has benefited our families. And that was a good thing. When we started it, we said, this is a pilot. We're gonna see if we can do it. We'll do it this year because we know we've got that. And that's giving back to our families, our parents, our kids, and really helping our community. But once all of the numbers have been coming in, we don't see that we can extend it any farther than this, but at least we feel like we were able to do it for a year.
Was there any possibility, Ms. Durkee, if we had breakfast and lunch, just doing one?
We were doing breakfast and I don't know that there's an option to do one or the other. CEP is universal. There's no option.
CEP is both. You have to do both meal services.
Yeah. There's some federal legislation about increasing the percentage, but there's a lot of moving parts with legislation, whether it's state or federal, and so to bank on going forward is pretty risky. They're talking about upping the percentage. They take your number of free and all those things that she listed, and then there's a multiplier. Right now it's 1.6. They were talking about changing it to 2.5, but there's no guarantee. And so things are just shifting in a way that we really aren't sure. So better to be conservative, I feel like, financially than not. And we certainly couldn't have afforded to take a $400,000 cut next year as well and stay fiscally sound.
So how will families be notified on that?
Well, Lisa has already started the communication piece. We wanted to wait until we had this discussion with the board. We knew that Ms. Pearson was going to come in and talk to us one last time after a second reflection. So tomorrow, as soon as we get on our feet on the ground tomorrow morning, we're going to start encouraging people to do this. Carrie and Angela are right in the middle of ASR. Angela's learning. Nancy's really the guru at this point, to be honest. But it's just interesting because numbers of economically disadvantaged kids are really important to our ability to, number one, collect state aid. And then families for Title I that would qualify must fill out the free and reduced form. Otherwise, they're not counted in our Title I funding formula. That's super important. So I'm not going to, I'm mincing no words. We're nervous about families filling those forms out. And so, we've said that over and over again in the past. It's really important that they fill them out. It is really important that they fill them out because, our Title I funding depends on it. And then Carrie's going to be checking OLR. We have the numbers that qualify kids in our OLR, which is how you register for next year. So we'll know which families would be eligible. So it's just a matter of us making sure we're on top of it this year. So we're going to be vigilant. That's how we're going to do it.
Is there a way we can add that maybe into the enrollment?
It is.
It is?
Well, yes and no. The economically disadvantaged form is in the enrollment. The problem with the free and reduced forms is they haven't come out officially yet. And so they won't until, Sherry, you're expecting mid-June maybe?
Mid to latter part of June. They have been coming in a little bit earlier the last couple years.
So you can't use an old form for the next year. So that puts us at a little bit of a disadvantage because parents have to be diligent and we have to be diligent. So we're going to be having principals help us, making sure they're communicating with families, and then just the communication, obviously with the ability to send out text messages. I know that gets old and obnoxious to some people, but it's really important that people do that. So, and I know Carrie's pushing out enrollment, OLR pre-registration for next year of current students. What are we at? What's the percentage about?
Only 1,600 people haven't done it.
Okay, so that's pretty good. A third have not. So that's.
I would say if you have people that in your lives that you hear rumbling, because the economically disadvantaged question is what's your income range and how many people live in your home. And if you notice, we had to add other, and that was because some people were refusing to answer the question. And so if you have people in your lives that wonder why we're asking for that information, it really is about title funding and about understanding economically disadvantaged. We do not use those numbers for anything else. We don't share those numbers. There are like 2 of us in the district who see them. I know sometimes people are hesitant because they don't think it's our business to know their income range, but it really does drive how many paras and teachers we can have in certain programs.
So just to be clear, it's a demographic question that funnels into the student information system. It's a number. So the only reason we need them is so that aggregate number, the total, gets factored into the annual statistical report, which helps us recover. It's a 0.33 weight for each student that would qualify. So when you think about, we get an additional third of state aid. It translates into a lot of money is what I'm saying. And so we're using it for a numerical value, not to determine which ones have, we're not individualizing kids. So I think that's important for parents to understand. So truly, if you have people that you hear in the community, why are they asking for my income? It's not because we're being intrusive. It really is about supporting our kids in the best way we can monetarily. So great question. All right, so consent agenda. Sorry, it's kind of out of order, but I thought that was important conversation.
No, yeah. Any more questions?
I'll make a motion, we accept consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. A vote, please.
Mullins.
Aye.
Hanlon.
Aye.
Noggle.
Aye.
Spoon.
Aye.
Wagers.
Aye. Okay, proposed executive session to discuss temporary teacher recommendations for the 2025-26 school year.
I make a motion, we lump together 36, 38, and 40, so that we'll discuss teacher evaluation also. I mean, superintendent evaluation also.
I second that.
Okay, motion and a second. A vote, please.
Mullins.
Aye.
Hanlon.
Aye.
Noggle.
Aye.
Spoon. Wagers.
Aye. Aha. Okay, we are now in open session. The time is 8:48 p.m. While in executive session, the board discussed the following: temporary teacher employments and evaluation of superintendent employment recommendations also. No other matters were discussed, no votes were taken. Okay. Item 36, proposed executives, oh, we did this, sorry.
Madam
Okay.
Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the temporary teacher recommendations for 25-26, item number 37.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second, any discussion? I guess we did discuss that at length. Motion and a second, vote please.
Mullins,
Aye.
Hanlon,
Aye.
Noggle,
Aye.
Spoon,
Aye.
Wagers.
Aye. Okay,
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion for item number 39 to approve the employment recommendations for the 24-25 school year for the personnel listed.
I'll second.
motion and a second, vote please.
Mullins,
Aye.
Hanlon,
Aye.
Noggle,
Aye.
Spoon,
Aye.
Wagers.
Aye.
Ms. Durkee, you'll let Mr. Clemens know he got hired?
I will let him know.
All right.
Okay, 42, proposed approval to accept bids for the Limestone Technology Academy playground equipment.
We need 41.
41, though. Just
Oh.
a motion to read it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
the
make a
orange
motion.
page.
Oh, the orange page. I'll make a motion for Ms. Wagers to compile and file the superintendent evaluation.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, vote please.
Mullins,
Aye.
Hanlon,
Aye.
Noggle,
Aye.
Spoon,
Aye.
Wagers.
Aye. Okay, how about number 42? Proposed approval to accept bids for the Limestone Technology Academy playground equipment.
I'll make a motion to propose approval to accept bids for the Limestone Playground.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, a vote please.
Mullins,
Aye.
Hanlon,
Aye.
Noggle,
Aye.
Spoon,
Aye.
Wagers.
Aye. And
Item 43, just FYI, Ms. Schuler actually resigned. Resignation was accepted, and she has decided to stay. So we're going to rescind that
No.
resignation.
Okay, a motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second, a vote please.
Mullins,
Aye.
Hanlon,
Aye.
Noggle,
Aye.
Spoon,
Aye.
Wagers.
Aye. Okay, number 44, any matter not known about or which could not have been reasonably foreseen prior to the posting for this meeting?
There is not.
Any announcements?
No.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Vote, please.
Mullins,
Aye.
Hanlon,
Aye.
Noggle,
Aye.
Spoon, Wagers.
Aye. Thank you.